Hi, my name is Val, and I just wanted to give a quick testimonial about my experience with Starecta so far. It's only been about 4.5 weeks that I started, so I really didn't think that I would have anything to share this early on, but there's been some pretty exciting and what feels significant to me changes since I started. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of where I was at walking into this, I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 10. I had mild to moderate back pain and stiffness on and off through the years. And then when I was 14, I had dental braces on my teeth, and I started having jaw issues around that time. When I had the braces, my jaw would feel really tight in the morning when I would wake up, and I would have to like stretch my mouth open to get my jaw to pop so I could just move my jaw normally. So I only had braces for about a year, but I feel like the tightness and there was some lingering issues with my jaw even after I got the braces off. And then when I was from about 17 to 24, I started experiencing some health issues that were, aside from the mild back and neck issues that I was already having, that kind of seemed like they took more of a precedence because they were just causing me bigger issues than the neck and back pain. So progressively through the years, up until the time I was 24, I just kept getting worse. My health just slowly kept declining. By the time I was 24, I was not functional in mind or body, really to any degree. And I was mostly bedridden, and I got diagnosed with late-stage neurological Lyme disease. So that explained probably a lot of what I had been going through leading up to that point. And again, I feel like the other symptoms I was dealing with were not more important, but just more causing me more issues than the neck and back pain that I could feel. So symptoms, were anything from, just gosh, a whole host. The list is quite long, but gut problems and heart symptoms and unexplained weight loss, depression, anxiety, brain fog, fatigue, endocrine problems. I mean, the list goes on and on. But slowly for the last 6 years, I've been trying to treat Lyme and some of the other secondary issues that it's been causing, and I've had some success because I'm obviously a little more functional in mind and body now, but I feel like the two biggest things that are still really problematic for me, two or three biggest things, is the brain fog, the physical fatigue, and mental fatigue, and endocrine imbalance. Those are really huge. So a friend introduced me to Starecta, actually not because I was looking to correct my scoliosis, which had gotten a lot worse as I got a lot sicker, because I also experienced a lot of changes with my muscles, and being bedridden for a long time, I had a lot of muscle loss, and just noticed that my scoliosis got progressively worse. So a friend mentioned Starecta to me after we had both read a book by Dr. Larry Lydell, and she mentioned it to me because what I was really focused on at the time was looking for ways to calm my sympathetic nervous system down and create a little bit of more balance in my nervous system, because that seems to be a really big obstacle right now in continuing, and has been for the last year or so, in continuing treatments for Lyme. So until I get that under control, it's, there's a good chance that I'm just not going to have success with those other treatments. So when I read about this connection to the bite and the nervous system in Dr. Lydell's book, I got really excited because, he really lays it all out, and it makes beautiful sense, and it felt like a really big piece for me, but he doesn't offer much in the way of, okay, now how do you fix it? So there was something, like, he does offer something, but he doesn't really explain much. It's very brief. I didn't really understand it. I didn't want to spend the money on something I didn't understand how to do, or what it was. So when my friend mentioned Starecta to me and I was reading about it, I was like, oh yeah, this is the the treatment, you know, for what Dr. Larry Lidell is talking about. This is perfect. It was making awesome sense to me. And then as I was learning more about it and reading the stories of the other people that had done it, and getting on the website and seeing these people with adult scoliosis who were struggling in a lot of the same ways I was, and they were fixing their, you know, their spines and their facial asymmetries, which is also something I've noticed that I've had. I just was, you know, really excited because I thought, okay, this is actually has the potential to fulfill several of my health needs right now. I really didn't think I would be addressing my scoliosis at this point, because I had made a few attempts and it just wasn't helpful. And you can only spend so much energy and so much money and time, you know, on treatments. And I was just focused, you know, I got back focused on the Lyme. So anyways, so I got introduced to the Starecta. It made sense. It's like, I'm gonna do this. So I did. I started 4.5 weeks ago. And that very first week, I think the most exciting or the most noticeable change that I felt was an immediate shift in my low back. My whole right side of my body is always very tight and imbalanced, and has been for years, even before, you know, I had the big health crash when I was 24. And so I get like a lot of tightness, and I just don't have the same amount of mobility. And my low back, the right side, is always, you know, sticking out more. If you're a scoliosis patient, you'll be familiar with the bend and reach test. And so, you know, when I do that, you can see the right side of my spine is, or the right side of my back is a lot higher. And then farther up my back, it's my left side, so it's opposite. So that improved in 1 week of Starecta, and I've stripped away, or tried to strip away, all other possible variables. So I'm not doing any physical therapy, I'm not going and getting adjustments done, I'm not working with chiropractors, I'm not doing any, you know, exercise really. I do light stretches, but I've always, you know, done that, so I'm continuing that. But I've not thrown anything else new into the mix, and I'm also not doing any Lyme treatment right now. I really wanted to get a good sense just for what Starecta was going to do for me, and I felt like the only way to, or the best way to do that, would be to get rid of, you know, everything else and just see what happens with just this alone. So I've been doing it mostly in isolation, and isolation from other treatments, and so that was really exciting to see that change in my low back and to feel it. And you know, my parents see it and they're thrilled because they've never seen my body change like this and change so rapidly. They've always noticed my, you know, my uneven back. And then also during that first week, my ears cleared. And that was so exciting because that wasn't even a change that I was looking for or expecting or seeking. And I've had a lifetime of chronically plugged ears. In fact, I had a surgery for it when I was 5, which got rid of, you know, it got rid of the infections and it brought a lot of my hearing back, but I've still had these chronically plugged ears. So feeling my ears start to drain and feeling them pop and open up, I was flabbergasted. I was really excited because, you know, not only for the obvious reason that it's relieving, but also because, you know, that's a lifetime problem unwinding, or, you know, healing. That's not just a problem that started 5 years ago or since I got really sick, or, you know, so I feel like that's really, really implies that, you know, the Starecta method is correcting something that has been causing me issues all my life, and that's huge. So, so yeah, the last, you know, 4.5 weeks has just been, you know, a slow progression of all these things that I just mentioned. The tightness on my right side is slowly improving, like a little more each week. I can feel it when I do my stretches. There's just more evenness. The two sides of my spine are, or the two sides of my back, of my spine, are getting more and more even as time's going on. I'm constantly like showing my parents, and they're just, you know, they just can't believe their eyes because they've seen me with this uneven back my whole life. And only get worse with time. So yeah, and then about a week ago I had a really cool experience when I was just, you know, I tipped my head like this to stretch my neck all the time, and I was just doing that like I normally do, and all of a sudden I heard this loud pop, and I was like, you know, it startled me. I wasn't sure what to think, and then I noticed that it was a very good thing. Whatever it was a very good thing, because when I tip to the right now, I don't have this catch that I normally feel, this kink or this catch. I don't quite know how to explain what it feels like, but I've had that for years, maybe since I was a teenager. I don't really know when it began, but I've just kind of lived around it and lived with it. And so to feel that crack, and I should say that it's about 80% gone. I still feel a touch of it, but it's so much better. And so that was really cool and really exciting. In terms of my brain fog and my fatigue, I don't feel any significant changes with that at this time. But I know that that's something that a lot of other people, well, I don't know if a lot is fair to say, but other people that I have talked to, who are using the Starecta method, that did get better for them. And with this kind of a head start, you know, with this kind of a good start, I should say, it seems reasonable to hope for those changes too. So I hope in a few weeks, maybe in a few months, I don't know, I'll provide another update on what's going on. But so far I'm pretty flabbergasted at the changes that I can see, and that other people can see, and the changes that I can feel, and I'm just really excited to be doing this. So thanks.